What makes video games fun? Is it graphics? Is it sound effects? Or is it difficulty? These two videos are from the exact same game. So why does the one on the left feel so much worse compared to the one on the right? The answer is a strange term called game juice, and in this video, I'm going to show you how you can take your game from this boring sphere hitting red squares with pellets to the satisfying third-person shooter with just a couple of effects. Chapter 1. Your brain needs feedback. Every time you press a button or do a task, your brain expects the game to respond. This is our gun shooting. There's nothing. There isn't a single drop of feedback, and if I'm being completely honest, it's actually very boring. So the first thing we have to do is make it more fun to shoot. So the first thing we're going to do is add a muzzle flash. Now, most people know what a muzzle flash is. That is, unless the only action games you play are on Roblox or are dressed to impress. Us real men, we know that when the gun goes pew pew, there are flames. So let's exaggerate it and make it look like you're shooting huge cannonballs. I'm using Unity's particle system, a great system for adding particles. And with just a few tweaks, I can get this explosion PNG exploding in front of the muzzle of the gun. Just like this. Wow. Nice. This tiny muzzle flash immediately makes the game much better. Even if we didn't make the gun stronger, we just told your brain that it fired through visual effects, before the bullet just spawned in without any secondary reaction. Speaking of secondary reaction, the next thing I added was recoil to the gun, because with a muzzle flash that big, the gun should at least throw it back a little bit. But I think I added a little bit too much recoil, so I dialed it in so it didn't look too exaggerated, and here we go. Chapter 2. Shake. We just added recoil to the gun, so now the gun can throw it back, but what about the camera? Basically, every shooter that you've played except the people who play Roblox and Dress to Impress have camera shake. Camera shake is when the camera shakes. You can code it in yourself. But I used a Unity plugin called Milkshake, which makes it super easy to customize your own camera shake. Too much juice and too much feedback actually can make a game feel worse than it already was. Mom, what's this guy yapping about? Is it just me, or is the camera shaking way too much? It's sort of jerking and it looks just horrible. This is too much juice, so you need to make sure to dial it down. Make sure it's not too much and not too little. Now this is perfect. And you can also see I made the bullets point in the direction that they're actually shooting. Chapter 3. Particles. Particles play a massive role in making a game juicy and providing feedback. So let's add some bullet trail particles. In Unity, you can add a trail renderer with the texture to make it seem like the bullet is going faster than it actually is. And the next particle we're going to add is a bullet casing. If you're not into guns like I am, in Fortnite when you shoot, the empty shell of the gun falls out. I mean, the empty shell of the bullet, and it just makes the game look incredibly polished when you have it. Basically, all of my gun knowledge is based around Fortnite, and if you don't like it, then So I got the bullet cases spawning in every time you shoot, but they're a little bit too big. Alright, so the bullet casings are now done. So now the bullet is polished and it provides the maximum amount of feedback. Now let's move on to the next chapter. Chapter 4. Permanence. In video games, permanence means things like making enemy bodies being left behind, leaving blood splatters on the walls, leaving bullet casings on the floor, and just giving the player the overall feel like they've been in the world and have been exploring it. You want the player to feel and see like they've been interacting in the world, especially a virtual one. Let's take this for example. In the game Miami Hotline, the game feels especially satisfying because enemies don't just disappear once they're defeated. The bodies remain in the room once you've killed them, turning every room into literal trophies of all the fights you've won. Use bullets, dropped weapons, piles of defeated enemy bodies, and blood. They all accumulate instead of being erased, and I just like seeing dead bodies. When the level ends and you have to walk through the aftermath of your own violence, the game reminds you that every action left a lasting mark, creating a level of satisfaction and impact that would otherwise be lost if everything just despawned seconds later. We are getting really close to the end of adding feedback to our game. I could go on and on and on about keeping on adding on effects, and it would take hours, but I'm gonna keep it simple just for this video. For some of the last particle effects, I'm going to be adding a running particle, which is just smoke to make it seem like the player is moving much faster than he already is. You can see this on cartoons like Wile E. Coyote. When they run, there's just smoke behind them. So I got the particles to work. Now the trail starts when you jump and the run particles start when you're running on the floor. In video games, these effects make the player more grounded in the environment and make it seem like you're actually part of the game. And if you didn't notice already, I also increased the movement speed because before it was just way too slow. And now the game is actually coming together. Now it's starting to feel like it has action and it's actually fun to jump around and do semi-parkour thingies. Yeah. In video games, sometimes it's better to be able to move faster because it makes the game faster paced. And now it's time for the last and most important feature of all. You guys, you need to listen carefully because this is the secret to making your games fun. You're gonna go into your prefabs folder, open up the enemy, and then add googly eyes. Perfect. It's giving Dr. Robotnik, but if his mustache was on his eyebrows instead of on his mustache. But yeah, now we have successfully Sulified our game. It's really all about making the repetitive things more satisfying to do, whether it's shooting, moving, killing, and just having fun. Guys, I really appreciate you sticking around until the end of the video. All the support means a lot to me. If you did already, thank you so much for liking and subscribing to my very small channel. And if you haven't, well, you're legally obligated to like and subscribe. And if you want to support me more, I have a comic book about coding. You can check it out right here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you people in another video.